Okay, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the Hero Hangout and the rest of the sessions today. We are going to finish up with one of our most awesome sponsor partners for not only sponsor for Fusion, but partner with D2L. So the title of this presentation is Diversifying the Online Learning Experience, Why It's Important to Go Beyond Virtual Classroom. And rather than tell you more about his presentation, I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Please welcome Brian Jacobsen from Bongo.
Hey, thanks so much, guys. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you here real quick. Get that pulled up. All right. Yes, my name is Brian Jacobsen. I am a strategic partnership manager with Bongo. With me are my rockstar colleagues, Kim Nab, who's a customer success manager, and Connor Hockett, our marketing manager. So hopefully everybody can see my presentation screen up.
Yep, good.
All right, great. So feel free to utilize that chat feature too. We've got a limited amount of time, but we want to make sure that your questions are being answered. So Kim and Connor will be happy to kind of field some of those questions as we move along. So as you know, when COVID-19 forced learning activities online, web conferencing solutions like Virtual Classroom were the simplest way to support remote instruction and keep organizations connected. Synchronous video tools add value because they do facilitate that face-to-face interaction in real time, but they're not the only digital learning technologies within Brightspace that promote engagement and enhanced learning. I'm going to try to get my slide to work here. There we go. So if you're looking to expand the online learning experience beyond Virtual Classroom, you should consider incorporating video assignments into your courses. These integrated video workflows enable skill development and personalized feedback from a distance. So instructors typically use video assignments to create opportunities for practice, skill demonstration, analysis, and collaboration. So there are 4 video assignment workflows available within Brightspace: individual assignment, question and answer, group assignment, and interactive video. I'm going to walk you through a couple of those today and explain why they're so meaningful in this extended time of distance learning. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen again with you here, a different screen, hopefully without too much problem here. All right, so now we should be looking at our individual project. I'm going to expand this for a better view for you. So individual project or individual assignment is really designed to help practice or demonstrate skills, get some feedback and coaching. And this particular example was designed for a law firm who specializes in employment law and human resources. So up here we've got a set of instructions that says provide an overview of the Family First Coronavirus Response Act and the potential implications to your employer, to the employers or clients. Got a set of video instructions on here to the left. We always encourage you to utilize those video instructions to help kind of create that additional layer of engagement and that personalization that we're kind of missing in the days of remote learning and teleworking. Up here on the right, I can see that this particular assignment is graded on a rubric. I'm going to click into that. So as the employee or the student, I'm going to go in here and look at exactly what the requirements are for me to get an excellent presentation. And once I familiarize myself with that, I can close out of here. I've had an opportunity to do some research, and now I'm going to go ahead and submit a video. We can do that in a couple different ways. I'm going to click that add button here and click the video, and you'll notice that I can upload a video from my device, or I can record a live video. And I'll show what that looks like here. So it's going to hopefully activate my recorder here, a couple of permissions there. And when I'm ready to record, I'll hit the record button and I'll begin my response. You'll see that I've got 120 minutes to provide a response. Once I'm satisfied with that response, I'll click the stop button. And then I've got a few options here. I can trash it, I can download it to my device, or I can save it to this work in progress area here. It's always a flattering view when we stop those recordings, so that's great. I'm going to expand this for a little better view for you guys here. So you'll notice that video is now processing in this work in progress area. One really important, powerful tool that we offer in individual assignment is the auto analysis feature. I'm going to show you what that looks like here. I'm going to click on this icon here. And what it does is it transcribes that video presentation for us and gives us some really important metrics to consider. Our clarity, our use of filler words, and our speaking rate. In addition to those metrics, our instructor or employer can create or generate some key terms that they want to make sure we touch on in this presentation that are very important for this particular topic. So we can review that here as well. If I want to get a better understanding of where I'm using those filler words, I can click this drop-down button here and click on filler words. And I can see, well, maybe that's in this particular example not too concerning there. I can look at some of the other issues like unclear words, just to really kind of hone in on my presentation skills and practice a better delivery. So you'll hear us talk about scale a lot. And why is this important? Well, let's think about it. If you have 20 employees or 20 students that you need to, have this assignment with, it's really hard to give that individualized, that personalized feedback and coaching. So you can use, their students or your employees can use this particular auto analysis to really capture some of those issues and help me, evaluate my presentation and figure out where I need to be before I submit my final project to the instructor. So rather than, again, having to approach your instructor or employer every time you want to provide a presentation and get feedback, you have this as a layer to help you perfect your presentation skills. So I'm going to close out of that. So I've got my responses here. Now, let's say I broke this up like I did here in two parts. I provide a response addressing the particular law and a second response to address the implications to our clients. I've got them here in part one and part two. And you'll see what I've also done here. Like I said before, we really encourage you to use this as an opportunity to practice your presentation, because I've noted here that on this video, I needed to work on my eye contact and my confidence. And so you can utilize this as an area to take notes and provide yourself some feedback on how you're doing. Just click the edit button here and you can jot down those notes as you see fit. But if I'm done with my presentation, I'm going to combine these two videos because I had a good response for part one, a good response for part two, but I'm going to combine those into one video for my final submission. I'm going to click on Combine Videos. I'm going to select those two videos, and if I need to rearrange them in a way that makes sense, I can drag that and flip it however you want. And you can do that with as many videos as you've got in here so they can stitch into one succinct video. When I'm done, I hit the Submit button, and you'll see it's going to process right here. It does take a little bit of time to process because we're going through all those analytical features and metrics, so it does take sometimes as long as the actual presentation itself. So you got to be a little bit patient. So again, to review, you can reflect on individual assignment. It really has a lot of those, all those things necessary for conducive learning environment. You've got the ability to practice, the self-assessment, auto-analysis features. You can create an additional layer of review by having peer review. So it's a great opportunity to practice those skills and get really familiar with the subject matter. So we're going to take that one step farther with our question and answer. So again, we're going to carry this theme here. We're in this law firm. You've given your employees, really sufficient opportunity to study the subject matter, become proficient on it. Now we're going to test that knowledge in a more real-world application with our question and answer. What that does is it'll pop up a series of questions and it'll give the respondent a certain amount of time to respond to a question. You only have one opportunity to respond. You'll see that in my set of instructions here. In this Q&A, you'll be asked a series of hypothetical questions that you might expect from clients regarding the newly enacted FFCRA. You'll be given 2 minutes to respond and only one opportunity to answer the question. So think about what that does to the learner too. If you know that you're going to go into this environment, we're going to be expected to answer these questions on the spot. It's really going to force you to engage with that material a little bit more. You're going to provide a little more dedication to the subject matter versus, well, I might have to take a multiple choice exam. So I'm not going to be as invested in that as I would for this, for no other reason than to spare myself the embarrassment of stumbling on this presentation. So here's how this looks. I'm going to go in here, I've got 3 questions. I'm going to activate your reporter. And as soon as I'm ready here, I'm gonna allow this here, that's the problem. When I'm ready to rock and roll, I'm gonna click Start Question, and you'll see the question
Does
pop
the
up here.
FFCRA require me to provide paid sick time to my employees? I have more than 50 employees on my payroll.
All right, so I've got the question, and now I need to provide a response. The time is counting down. Looks like I've got 1 minute and 11 seconds to respond. So I need to be on my game. I've got to provide this response. And when I'm done, I click stop, and that's it. I don't have the opportunity to really review or re-record. It just moves on to the next question. And so it just continues out that through the line of questioning. And you can, as the employer or the educator, you can develop 20 questions. And if you've got a handful of employees or students, you can randomize those questions so they can go talk to their colleagues or their fellow students and share what some of those questions are. So you can randomize those as well. It just makes the tool a little more powerful that way. So if you can recognize the value of adding individual assignments and Q&A into your organization, it's quite a powerful tool. And it does take us beyond that virtual classroom experience and provides a little more enhanced learning environment. Now I can jump over here and show what it looks like from the educator or the employer perspective. Bear with me, I'll make that transition here. All right, so can everybody see the assignments here? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Okay. So I'm going to jump into the individual assignment here, see what that looks like. So this overview is a new feature of our current release 20.3. It provides us kind of an overview of how many students we have and where they're at along in the progress here. I've got one student that hasn't viewed the assignment, one that's in progress, and one that I need to evaluate. I can look down here and I see that Bobby Tables needs to be evaluated. He's got a 96% on his auto analysis, so that tells me he's taken some time to really reflect on those metrics we talked about, the rate of speech, the clarity, the use of filler words, and some of those key terms as well. So we'll jump in here and take a look at Bobby Tables. So I can go down here and I can look at the submission. I'm just going to play that here so you have an idea what we're doing. Now, as you're reviewing this submission, another really powerful feature in Bongo is the ability to insert comments. So as I'm going along this and I want to note something, rather than have to wait to the end of the presentation, collect my thoughts or take notes, and then have some sort of a reasonable response at the end that's more generalized, I can go in here and make targeted comments right away. And that pauses that video, and I can insert that comment right here. And if you want to provide a more personalized approach to this as well, you can create or generate video feedback as well, just by clicking that, and you're going to see the same sort of format pop up. If I want to create a video response, I'll do that here. I'll say, hey, great job, great eye contact, perfect confidence, great use of the subject matter, and stop. And I'll save that. And it'll do the same thing. It'll pop that video comment right in here at the moment that I wanted to make that comment. It's a great feature. And again, it really helps drive that value of personalized feedback and relevant targeted feedback. So that, in a nutshell, is what we have to discuss about individual assignment and Q&A. I'm hoping that you've kind of thought of some other ways or use cases you can use this, whether it's practicing your sales pitches or practicing delivering empathy to a patient or to a colleague. There are a ton of use cases that you can come up with for individual project and Q&A. I think we've probably got quite a bit of time left. I'd love to open the floor for some questions, or if Kim and Connor had anything they'd like to add, that would be a great time.
Yeah, Brian, sorry, we've just been answering, there have been quite a few questions coming in, so sorry, we were trying to take those on as we go here. Kim, I don't know if you had anything else to add on the instructor side for feedback, but I'll go ahead and try and filter through some of these questions and start answering them out loud if you'd like.
That's great. Yeah, and some of the questions that came up were, does the grade transfer back to the Brightspace gradebook? It does. We've got a great deep integration with Brightspace to allow such a cool feature there. Yeah, it's just easy for the learners to access the video, to submit, and then for the instructors to, provide that timestamp feedback. So they'll see, what they did well, ways that they can improve. And two, with the peer review, engaging the students. So when those students are providing that timestamp feedback to their peers, they're having to think critically about their peer submission in order to be providing that. So it's win-win on both sides for sure. So I'm trying to.
Yeah, Kim, it looks like there's a question that just came in where Carrie was asking if some of the features that we're showing are just available in the free version or if they're on the premium version.
Yeah, great question. So the free version allows the learner to record or upload the video in the individual assignment. They do not have the auto analysis available with the free version, nor do they have the ability to share their desktop in the event they had to share a visual aid. That is what is available for the students, is to record, upload a video, and then, or a document. That's what's available in the free. So anything beyond that, such as the auto analysis, available in the individual assignment. And then two, the question and answer assignment is a premium feature, as is the group assignment and that interactive video that that Brian was referring to. So,
awesome. Another question came in just now, Kim, that Byron said they're moving to D2L for the fall at his school. Is Bongo an add-on module, or will we have it as part of the initial suite?
Yeah, great question. I would definitely encourage you to talk with your D2L rep with that, because it is definitely a component that could be added and enabled on whether it's the free version or to test out, or just go with the premium to take heed of that Q&A, my favorite assignment type there that Brian demonstrated, or as well as the auto analysis.
Awesome. There's also another question here where you talked about the difference between freemium and premium, but how does that relate, or how does video assignments availability relate to the Brightspace Core customers? How is it available to Brightspace Core customers, I guess, is the more direct question.
That's a really, really good question. I think it's add-on. Is that, I don't know if there's a D2Ler that could, but I think I'm pretty sure it's an add-on there. I'm not so familiar with the core. Gotcha. There.
No problem. And here's a question from Stephanie. Is the automatic transcript part of the free version, or is that premium? That'll be a premium feature, Stephanie, because the automatic transcript is part of auto analysis, which is a premium feature as a whole.
Okay, and then Megan answered, Core gives you the free version.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they're asking. Let me see if I can snag the if I can add a document here in the chat. I could go to the web. So if I'm adding a link to the chat, if you scroll down to the bottom of that web page, that D2L web page, you'll see where you have the opportunity to download on the right the video assignments, and then that will kind of guide you through what's available in the free and what's available in the premium there.
Awesome. And here's a question that just came in, Kim, that I'm happy to give an answer to as well, or add on to anything you have. But does Bongo scan video assignments for possible plagiarism? Written assignments are scanned through Turnitin in our college. How does Bongo support academic integrity?
That's a great question. And I do recommend, Brightspace Community has a PI, the Product Idea Exchange. At this time, we do not integrate with Turnitin or any other type of software that does detect plagiarism. And so, so at this time, we don't have anything integrated in there, but it could be a great opportunity to add that to the Product Idea Exchange.
Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim, but you can download that transcript and cut and paste that transcript into some of those tools that do search for plagiarism, right?
You do have the opportunity to download that. that transcript. That's correct, Brian.
It's not a native feature, but just being able to download that transcript is certainly a pretty powerful tool in that regard.
I would say the nature of the workflows lend themselves to academic integrity as well, because the video recording capability, you can see someone right in front of the webcam. You can see if their eyes are darting around. You can see if they're pretty easily see if they're reading off of a piece of paper, or if someone else behind the camera is motioning to them. Those type of things are pretty apparent through the workflows. So I'll say the nature of the video assignments kind of prevent most of that. But yeah, as Kim mentioned, the Pi thing is also a great resource that
even within
we'd
that,
love to hear some feedback on.
I'm sorry, Connor.
No, you're fine. I'm all finished.
I was gonna say, even within that Q&A workflow, you can, as the educator or the employer, you can set it up to where you're seeing the screen they're looking into. So if they are, reading from the web or something, you'll be able to see that in that response.
Do we have anything else out there, Connor?
Yeah, it looks like any reason that D2L would hang up when creating an assignment and choosing to record audio or video, are there permissions needed or something? So I'm not sure, Kim, if you're the best person to answer that, if that's better directed towards one of the D2L reps on here, but I'm not sure if you had anything to add there.
Any reason D2L would hang up? I'm not exactly sure. To record audio or video. So I know in our environment, we do have the opportunity to record video. If they do want to record audio, they don't want them to be seen on video, maybe, if that's what's regarding, they could cover their webcam easily enough, but we don't just have an audio only feature. They would have to cover that video, if that's the question there.
Awesome. Kim, another good question just came in. In the premium version, can the instructor preview a video assignment that was created without impersonating a student to view the video? So essentially, can the instructors review the videos they're creating during a course setup before students are loaded into the course and consume them themselves?
So the instructor, with all of our video assignments, this instructor always has the opportunity to view the progress of all of our assignment types. So they can click the view progress, go in to see and even review any of the videos that the students are creating for any of the assignment types. And for the group project, they could see how make sure everybody's participating with the group project as well. And even after they submit, they even have the opportunity to they have quick access to the videos that the students chose not to submit. So it's all available for them.
Awesome. Here's a most recent question came in from Allison. If I, as an instructor, create a video question, can I add closed captions before making it visible to students?
Okay, so that's a great question. So we do have some, we do have some captioning features available. We have a caption manager account that allows you to add a caption file to that video so that those captions would be available for them to review.
Gotcha. And here's a question from Keith that we missed earlier. Sorry, Keith. He's asking if only 7 people on the screen at one time is a limitation. He's talking about virtual classroom. Are there plans to change this for the fall term?
Oh, that's a great question, Keith. And we are working on improving our virtual classroom space. We're in the process of doing that right now. And I will say we are a web-based solution, in that we are dependent on on bandwidth. And there are some other tools out there that you have to download software. You don't have to do that with the virtual classroom, but that does, we have to be aware of the videos that we're sharing in that space. Saying that, at this time we do have it maxed at 7. We are looking to see if there's any way that we could increase that number. If we do, it wouldn't be by a lot of webcams, because we have to keep in mind the bandwidth that's being used in that space, and to ensure that it's a really seamless environment for the learners to learn in. And I do encourage, if you are wanting, utilize the video assignments, utilize the virtual classroom space in the group assignment to get those students in there. They could share those 7 webcams in the group assignment, meeting virtually, doing role plays, having foreign language conversations. And so if you are wanting them to meet, having a more smaller type of environment to be learning, to be engaging, that would be my recommendation there.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Looks like we may have missed one from Wendy earlier here too. To create one of a video assignment, she says, I assume you need to go to manage assignments. I think that's obviously a question about accessing video assignments and how you start creating those assignments within Brightspace.
Yeah, Wendy. So it all depends on the institution, how D2L or how you guys have it set up either in the nav bar. If you have video assignments available there, you can go ahead and set them up, or in the content or learning content or the unit area where you add existing activity. If you have it available to you at your institution, you would see video assignments there. So it all depends on how your Brightspace environment is set up, where you would find that.
Here's another question. Video assignments currently only show up under video assignments after students has accessed them first under content and then external learning tools, unlike virtual classrooms. Is that going to be fixed in future versions?
So that's a really great question. And the reason for that, and I don't want to take up a lot of time with this, is it because LTI, the tool that connects, that initial link, that click from that student in the content area, that's what's connecting that student to our Bongo, and to our to be registered in our system, to have that assignment linked to the Brightspace gradebook. There's a lot that happens with that first initial click. And so we are looking to see if possibly a newer version of LTI will fix that. So we'll definitely let you know as we continue to investigate, but continue at this time to have them click on that content link to ensure that everything is connected just fantastically.
Awesome. And then here's another question I think, Kim, you answered earlier in the chat, but are video assignments grades linked to the course gradebook?
Yes, they are.
Awesome. And how long are the video assignments retained on the server?
That's a really good question. They are pretty much indefinitely. Yeah, we'll keep them on the server. We understand that there could be some grade disputes there, and we want to make sure that those are available, safe and secure on our servers. So as long as you have access to that Brightspace course, you should have access to those recordings.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
then looks like the last couple questions that came in were just around virtual classroom, about timelines where webcam access will be increased, or making the whiteboard area larger. Do you know if there are any timelines, or if that's part of any of our upcoming releases, Kim?
That's really great questions. Yep. So we are looking at an August release to have the presentation to be enhanced. You'll have a little actually a couple places where you could enlarge that screen, and that will be available in our August release at this time that we have targeted for August. So we are looking at that, and just some other items there is, just really tidying up that space and making it really nice and pretty too. So
awesome. Yeah, some good stuff coming out here soon in the next release. And then here's another question. Can you copy over video assignments from term to term?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And so you can do that. There are a couple of additional steps, as we are an external tool embedded within, that you do need to do. And we do have those instructions on a Bongo support page out in the Brightspace community. So if you're in the Brightspace community and you just search for Bongo support page, at the very bottom, because I know this because I just had them added, they have the extra steps that you just need to do. I think there's 2 extra steps to ensure that those assignments are copied over.
And it looks like just a clarification question is the last thing we have here in the chat came about the recording duration or how long the videos are kept. Somebody asked if it's a shorter duration for premium. Looks like maybe 14 days was a specific question.
Those are specific to virtual classroom. So virtual classroom free version, you have access to those recorded sessions for up to 14 days for the free version. So video assignments, if you're utilizing the free version of individual assignment where the students are, recording those videos, then those videos will be available. It is the virtual classroom that has that 14-day restriction on them. Yeah.
Gotcha. And Jamie was just asking clarifying what having 7 students on the screen at one time means versus having 7 students view a live lecture on screen means via like sharing their webcam, Jamie. You can have much more than 7 students in a virtual classroom session, but we recommend only having 7 of those students or 7 people total sharing their webcam at one time. That is the distinction there. And unless I missed one, it looks like that's all the questions we have for now. Maybe we'll give 1 or 2 more minutes to let anyone else chime in the chat, but that's all I see for now.
And we do have some office hours scheduled here in the next coming weeks too, so please feel free to utilize those for additional questions, but also feel free to reach out to me or Kim, and we'll be happy to provide a more in-depth demo for you or your partners or anybody who's interested in Bongo.
So I think we can probably wrap it up. I'd like to thank Brian and Connor and Kim, and also shout out to Natasha from D2L, who's one of our, who works with our partners and helps set this up, and Mitch, who's working behind the scenes as a co-host as well. That's the end of day 1 of Fusion 2020. Only 17 more days, woo! All right, thanks Bongo. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you all very much. All right, bye-bye.